I wanted to start with you first. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind Reply and bringing the story to life on the screen?
Yeah, for sure. I wrote this in the beginning of the pandemic, so it was my first time even attempting to write a script. I think I I just wanted to make the film I wish I had growing up. I loved growing up 2000s teen movies. I'm a huge romance film fan. So to create my 2000s teen romance and make it queer was just something that meant a lot to me. So that's kind of how the inspiration came, and then the kind of the story itself. And then in terms of the characters, I had met the cast like throughout my life, just like different moments. And I think when thinking of casting it, I wrote these parts with them in mind and for them. So I think plot was just from like fulfilling this childhood fantasy of mine, and then the characters came to life as soon as I casted them in my head.
Great answer. Michael, what was it about Elle's script and these characters in particular that you connected with?
I think it just felt like it was really truly in Elle's voice. And I think it was something that I knew she was passionate about and I knew was kind of something that was going to happen no matter what. It was bound to happen. Elle was going to make a short film. So I think upon reading the script for the first time, it just felt like something that, it had the color, it had the warmth, it had that usual Elle Mills touch to it. And I knew that, given the opportunity to do it on a bigger scale, like in a short film with a big crew and having all these other department heads and stuff like that, I knew that it would become something that was special.
Really, I know that you wrote these characters with these particular actors in mind. As Sierra and Ava were bringing these characters to life on the screen, did anything surprise you about their interpretation? What was that collaboration like?
Oh my gosh, it was like my favorite part of this whole process, getting to work with the cast. It was, I remember in rehearsal specifically, like just like having them say the lines and seeing the chemistry happen, like it was like unreal for like their words to come out of for my words to come out of their mouths,
Yeah.
like so naturally. And like I had known that they were so talented, and I had known that like I was like really writing it with like out with them in mind and their voices in mind. But it was like to see it happen, and like for especially when the costumes started like on set, just like everything coming together, it was a feeling I've never felt before. And it was really a turning point in my life. Like after that experience, I realized like this is what I want to do, and just went straight back into writing because I'm like I really enjoyed that whole process. But yeah, they brought the I think just like what surprised I guess the only surprising thing was it's better than I had imagined,
Mm.
and that was just in that's I don't know, I already had high expectations, so they exceeded my expectations.
That Michael, you've said in the past that your purpose to be a part of this project was to take some of that first time pressure off of Elle. What was the biggest piece of advice you would give a new filmmaker making their directorial debut?
I think a big part of it is finding someone that you trust, that can kind of be there along the ride with you. I think that that's probably one of the most important parts. There's so many additional things that happen behind the curtain, outside of the creative, and I think directing in itself is a very, very hectic job. There's a lot of responsibilities and it's an extremely involved job. You're very much, manipulating and changing and making decisions the entirety of the day. And so it's very difficult sometimes to also have to manage the legal and the financial and all the other little things that happen, to make things the right way and to make sure that people, are paid and happy and taken care of while they're on set. Um, and so I think one of the biggest things is finding someone that's just as passionate about the story as you are, that understands your voice if you're a filmmaker, a director, or a writer, and is willing to be there to help you kind of bring things to life. That's probably one of the most important pieces of advice.
Great answer. This is a question for the both of you. You both have such a distinct style in the way that you tell stories and create narratives. Who or what has had the biggest impact on your development and finding your voice as a filmmaker?
You want to go? You want me to go?
You first, yeah.
I think what's interesting is, I mean, as a filmmaker, I haven't directed anything narrative in quite a few years, so I feel like my voice has very much changed, and I've definitely started to look toward different filmmakers that more align with where I intend to go in my career. So I guess someone like Damien Chazelle is a really great example. Just like that energy and excitement that he brings to his films is something that I have started to see myself lean more into as I've made more things. Um, I think initially it was more about taking my time with things the way like Denis Villeneuve does, or David Fincher. But I think that there's just this like excitement in me that I can't really hold down any longer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like a couple, like I kind of feel like I take little pieces of like inspiration from a couple different directors. I think like Taika Waititi, like the way he does dramedy so well. It's the perfect like laugh so hard but cry so hard at the same time. I think like with my films, just like the types of films I want to make, I think bittersweet is the word. I really want to like find that perfect balance of lightheartedness and innocence and sweetness, but I don't know, just like pain too, because I think that's just life. That's how I
Yeah.
see life. And I think that I like that he has a very unique style and voice, and I think that's like kind of what I take from most directors is like my favorite kind of directors are the ones where you can feel that it is their film, it is their voice, it's very authentically them. So yeah.
Yeah, this film is going to be available exclusively on Creator Plus. How did you know that this was the right platform to tell this story?
I mean, for me, like I had no plans originally with releasing it. I think it was very much a passion project. And then Creative Plus saw it and they really wanted to help release it. And I think it's just been an incredible experience because it's like, I don't know, like doing press, like for my short film, it's like, and like posters and promo and like all like behind the scenes commentary stuff. Like it's a dream of experience for a release for a short film. And it was a no-brainer. They've been very the Creative Plus team has just been great about um, prioritizing my perspective, my opinions, and like it's like what I say goes, which is I think that's that's what they want. They want to put the creator first, which I admire so much. So yeah, it's been a dream of experience.
This is also another question for the both of you, but this is one of those short films that's going to stay with audiences after the credits roll. Is there a particular scene that you're each excited for audiences to see when it comes out in November?
My favorite scene is the last scene with Casey and Hayden. So when people watch that, sure, it's inside the treehouse. I just like I think that was my favorite scene to watch Ava and Sierra bring to life. I think again it was like I had to imagine in my head, but just seeing like I remember like holding my breath while watching it from my monitor, and I was just like, whoa. So every time I watch that scene now, I'm always in awe of their acting.
I think when I watch it on the screen, I always brace for like a laugh. There's a scene with Ciara sitting on a swing, and she does something. I don't want to spoil it, but she does something and it's funny because it's so unscripted and just her, and I love that so much. But then to second Elle, I think that treehouse scene is just.
Yeah.
I think that's like it's the true like a just that's the film. I think it's really like that pinnacle scene. And I think it's just such a great little display of what Ava and Sierra have and what they brought to the film. And yeah, it was the same thing. That was one of those. I was always running around and stuff like that, but that was one of those scenes where I was at a monitor and I was watching it happen, and it's just like this beautiful little dance that they do that is real special.
But, short films are often created as a proof of concept. Elle, have there been any conversations about potentially extending this out to a feature film?
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing a feature for the past year, but I've been saying it isn't reply as a feature, but definitely like would be a proof of concept in a way. I'd say it's like it sets the tone for the universe, the like just the tone in general, the warmth, the heart of the film. Um, I even like Ava and Sierra, I really believe in and love so much. So yeah, it isn't going to be reply exactly as a feature, but definitely like if people enjoyed that, they're going to love this feature.
The two of you have been friends for a long time. Did you learn anything new about each other working as business partners?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Um,
I don't really know.
I mean, say I have bad, no, I have good things to say.
I've got a long list here.
No, I think what I learned about Michael, I like to call Michael Mikey, but
Yeah.
what I learned about Michael, even more so, I think, because I mean, we've always been friends, but like I think getting to work with each other, I almost feel it's made our friendship stronger. I feel like I've gotten closer to Michael through these experiences. I think Michael has a big heart, a very big heart, and never stressed, which is beyond me and don't understand that. But I think what I admire most about Mikey is that he genuinely cares about helping others fulfill their dreams and like bring their vision to life. Like I feel that across the board with all of our friends. Mikey's always there to help and support in any way he can, and with asking little back for himself. So very selfless to work with. And I've said it multiple times before, but this I'm so grateful to have had him on part of these projects I've been on, because he's made it so easy for me, and consciously easy for me, so that I could have such good experiences. And thanks to him, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. So and that's all thanks to him.
That's so sweet. I think what's special about a film set in particular, I think, is just that it's not like the casual working environment. I think it's just not comparative to anything. Even on a 3-day shoot, you become so close with so many people. And I think for me, I think it was really something special to just get to watch Elle do Elle. And it was just so rewarding to be a part of that, and to know that, she was comfortable and she was happy. And that, when we wrapped, I think it was just like this really wonderful, you had like the plank of wood.
Oh yeah, I have it right there.
And I think it was just, yeah, it was one of those things where I think, yeah, it wasn't anything in particular aside from just, yeah, it made us closer. It was this next experience that we got to share. And I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of it, and I got to be there to watch Elle do it and call, that's a wrap, and wrap each of her actors that she was so excited about getting on board. And I think so many people are like, how excited are you guys to see it finally come out? I think it's one of those things where, like, it feels like we did it years ago, but it also feels like we did it last week, because those little memories and those little things that happened on set are so fresh still. Just because, those were all just such great little moments in life, and it all just came from that film, which was just such a wonderful experience.